Salve, salve pessoal, Gronco na área para mais um vídeo aqui no canal. A continuação do Assassinato no Expresso Oriente, o jogo. Continuamos aqui na parte, né, depois da detetive contar a história dela, né, de como ela quase pegou o sequestrador, né, da Daisy, que seria o Cassete, né, a vítima que foi esfaqueada aqui no trem, né. Ela contou a verdadeira identidade dele, né, que não é Cassete, enfim, né, vocês viram aí, se vocês viram a última parte. Se vocês não viram, né, o card está aí em cima, o link também está na descrição. Caso você tenha caído de paraquedas aqui nessa parte, se não me engano, 5, o link da playlist também está na descrição e também está aí no card, beleza? Então, se você quiser começar do primeiro vídeo, da parte 1, toda a playlist, o card está em cima, né, como eu falei. E se você só não viu a última parte, também está na descrição e no card, beleza? Então, antes de começarmos aqui a gameplay, já deixa aquele like, se inscreve no canal se você não for inscrito, ativa as notificações para você ver os próximos vídeos, para dar aquela ajuda pro Gronco, né? Eu ainda estou em busca das 3.000 horas, né, assistidas para monetizar o canal, então eu conto com a sua ajuda. Então já deixa aquele like aí, mano, ajuda aí o Gronco, né? Assiste o vídeo até o final, se possível, e deixa aí um comentário para ajudar a engajar o vídeo, e também ativa as notificações para você ver os próximos vídeos. Então vamos lá, vamos continuar aqui a gameplay. Como falei, houve o detetive e agora temos que continuar o nosso progresso, beleza? Então vamos lá. Ok, então a missão aqui é interrogar os suspeitos no vagão restaurante. Então temos que achar o restaurante aqui e interrogar a rapaziada, a rapaz. Então vamos com o nosso belíssimo bigode até o restaurante para interrogar geral. Eu não li os livros, né? Então deixa nos comentários se está parecido com o livro, se está igual ao livro, né? Quem já viu todas as partes aqui que eu trouxe pro canal, eu não faço ideia, eu só vi o filme, né? Então eu não faço ideia se está igual ao livro ou se não está igual ao livro, se eles mudaram alguma coisa. Em relação ao filme, a única diferença é essa perspectiva, né, da detetive, né, da Clark, né, que não tem no filme, né? Eles focam mais no trem, né, nos acontecimentos do trem, não muito no passado da Daisy, enfim, mostra um pouco o que aconteceu, né, no sequestro e tal, mas não se aprofunda muito nisso, né? Não mostra a investigação da detetive, enfim. Tá, o restaurante é aqui, beleza. Então vamos lá. Então deixa nos comentários se você acha que se está parecido, né, com o livro ou não. Se alguém já leu o livro, né? Não sei se muitas pessoas já leram esse livro. Beleza, chegamos no restaurante, vamos sentar e vamos ver o que acontece.
The passengers who agreed to come and talk to you are assembled. Well, Mr. Masterman is already here to answer your questions.
Perfect, thank you, my friend.
O careca
Sit
chegou.
down, Mr. Masterman, please.
Thank you.
Does the name Cassetti mean anything to you?
No, should it?
Have you heard of the Armstrong kidnapping case?
Of course. It was all over the news a few years ago.
Your employer's real name is Cassetti. He was the man behind that kidnapping.
Mr. Ratchet was... He murdered that poor little girl?
Mr. McQueen, the man you worked for is a kidnapper named Cassetti.
What? What kidnapping?
He murdered his victim, a child named Daisy Armstrong.
The Armstrong kidnapping?
You had no idea of Monsieur Ratchet's real name?
Damn skunk.
Why are you so upset?
My father was the district attorney who handled the case, Mr. Poirot. I saw Mrs. Armstrong more than once. She was a lovely woman, so gentle and heartbroken. If ever a man deserved what he got, Ratchet, or Cassetti, is the man. He didn't deserve to live.
Concordo.
Madame
crack.
Olson, have you heard of the Daisy Armstrong case?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was only 2 years ago. It was famous.
Maybe so, but it was not famous in Spain, where I have been helping the refugees from Africa.
You've never heard the name Daisy Armstrong?
No, never.
Daisy Armstrong? No.
No.
No!
No.
Yes. It was all over the English tabloids before I went to Jordan. A horrific
What are you
crime that
talking
claimed the
about?
lives of an entire
Caraca.
family and their wrongfully accused nanny. That's right, isn't it?
Quite so.
I thought the culprit had been punished.
Some might say that the culprit was punished last night.
Oh, my heavens.
May I ask you a few more questions?
Yes, yes, of course.
Morou nos Estados Unidos.
You read about the crime, as you said, in the tabloids.
Yes, that's right. For weeks, news of the royal family was eclipsed.
Have you ever been to the United States, mademoiselle?
No, never. Jordan was really my first trip abroad.
Jordânia. Caralho.
You were in Jordan?
Yes, I was an English tutor there to the children of a high official. Until recently.
Relação com o Capitão
What
Arbuthnot.
is your relationship to Captain Arbuthnot?
Who?
A former soldier traveling with us. You must have met him.
Ah, yes, I met him on the platform in Istanbul. We only had a brief exchange of pleasantries, nothing more. British Reserve and all that.
Ah, the British Reserve. Yes, with this I am familiar.
Confronto. Pega isso aqui.
Oh, the truth cannot hide from Poirot forever.
Não.
Are you sure everything you have told me is accurate, Mademoiselle Debenham?
Of course.
Brinco no hotel.
Mademoiselle, I know that you met Captain Arbuthnot at the Tocatlian Hotel.
You were spying on me.
I am very attentive to my surroundings. It helps in my profession.
Well, it's your word against mine.
I had occasion to be of some assistance in recovering Captain Arbuthnot's train ticket. While searching his room, I also discovered
Minha
one
filha, a
of
casa
your
caiu.
earrings. Whatever your relationship may be to the good captain, I doubt it has anything to do with British Reserve. You will not tell me your secret, mademoiselle?
I can't. I don't know what you mean.
Poirot, Miss Debenham's got nothing to do with this business. Nothing. You hear?
Eu, hein, quem vai agredir?
Stop.
Captain, no. This behavior is
Well,
unworthy
I-
of an officer and a gentleman.
Leave her alone. Have you no honor?
Archie, we should
Oh, no.
go.
Captain Arbuthnot, I am certain you are a brave soldier, but you are a poor actor. The truth is that your relationship with Miss Debenham is beyond doubt, Captain. Your reaction was apparently that of a man trying to protect the woman he loves. I might understand that if your relationship were some cleverly
Yeah.
disguised secret, but it is not. You make puppy dog eyes at one another at every opportunity. You cannot hide your love. Everybody knows.
I advise you to stop with your accusations, Mr. Poirot. I'm going to escort Miss Debenham back to her compartment. Make of that what you
Oh,
will.
meu Deus, que dificuldade.
The captain and Mademoiselle Debenham are obviously adamant about not revealing their relationship, but this scene convinced me there is more that is not
Yeah.
so obvious.
This murder has everyone on edge. In my 25-year career, I have never seen such madness aboard the Orient Express.
É,
I
meu amigo.
understand, my friend. The more we learn, the more perplexing this train ride becomes. But we have other clues to pursue.
What do you have in mind?
The broken watch on Monsieur Ratchet's wrist, for example, and the handkerchief found near the body. Who does that belong to?
This little drama we have just witnessed has not put you off the scent.
Far from it, my friend. Will you
Meu amigo,
return
acho
to
que eu
your
vou me
watch over
despistar, eu sou
Mademoiselle
poirô,
Locke?
filho.
Yes, I will.
Eu, hein?
Dr. Constantine can probably use a break.
Good.
Au revoir, Poirot.
Vai comer um doce, vai. Vai te pé. Deixa eu trabalhar, pô. Ok, de quem é o lenço? Que letra está bordado? H.
Et voilà.
O lenço perdido. De quem poderia ser o lenço? Cara, é bordado, parece ser feminino. A gente tem que identificar todos? Tem H? Não. 7 pessoas identificadas.
No, not good. This is wrong.
Okay.
But I'm never far from the truth.
Al Hardman. Ah, Mário já botei, né? Ok. É que eu não sei o nome do Constantine, pô. Tá Dr. Constantine, não tem H, porra. Ah, primeiro nome desconhecido, entendi. Agora tá explicado. Tá, tem que interrogar quem tem nome com H e quem tem nome desconhecido. Beleza. Então vamos lá. E também tem outra linha, né? Que é o do relógio. O relógio foi adulterado pelo assassino. O relógio mostra a hora do assassinato. O relógio mostra a hora que o Ratchet adormeceu.
This is wrong. But I'm never far from the truth.
Está errado
We
os
consider all
assassinatos.
the possibilities. No, not good. Let me consider all the
Estava
possibilities.
errado?
Yes, there are only 3 possible hypotheses. The watch has been tampered with, or it is out of adjustment, or it indicates the time of the murder. I shall explore these last 2 possibilities before reaching any conclusions. If
Ok,
the watch is out,
beleza. Descobrir os álibis restantes também tem.
of adjustment, it may be broken. There may also be another reason related directly to Ratchet. Maybe the watch is set to another time zone.
Tá. Informação contraditória.
Et voilà.
É isso. Que o relógio não mostra. O relógio indica que o assassinato ocorreu às 1h15, enquanto o suposto assassino do Ratchet já estava no quarto em minuto 37. O relógio não indica a hora do assassinato. O relógio estava com defeito antes do cristal ser quebrado?
I must admit I'm not right this time. The watch was not defective because the second hand is still
Sim.
new. That was easy.
Ok, fusos horários. Istambul tá no 2.
Yes.
Então por isso que não foi 1h15, foi menos de 15.
Nice. If this theory is correct, then
o relógio
the
estava em
murder
1015.
took place at 12:15 a.m. I must interrogate all the passengers to see if any of them have an alibi for this hour.
Ok, compare os álibis conhecidos. O capitão estava com McQueen, né? Debenham estava com a senhora Hubbard. Não é isso? Não. Não, volta. Eu errei. Tá. Ela tava com a loirinha, né? Com a senhora Olson. Tava com o seu Foster e o Book estava com o Dr. Constantine ou a senhora Hubbard?
I must admit I'm not right this time.
É isso. Ok.
I'm right again. That happens.
Beleza. Tem que falar com essa moça?
Enchanté, mademoiselle. You are Hildegard Schmidt?
I am a fool. And you, I know, are Herr Poirot.
Correct. May I ask you for a few minutes of your time to answer a few questions?
With pleasure, but first may I ask for your help?
Why does this not surprise me?
I don't know.
I am at your service, Fraulein.
My mistress, Princess Dragomirov, has asked me to open this traditional Matryoshka doll. There is a trinket inside she must retrieve.
Madame, in my experience, each Russian nesting doll simply pulls apart to reveal the next one inside.
Indeed. Yet try it for yourself.
As you wish.
Ah, you are a gentleman.
Ai, Deus. Tá. Aqui é assim. Beleza. Aqui. Pronto. Oh, Deus, mais coisa. É aqui. Como virar. Não. Merda. Tá, eu acredito que não seja a mesma flor aqui. Provavelmente essa ou essa. Não. Essa. Ah, tá. Que coisa. Pode ser todas as variações, tá? Eu vou fazer. Mano, isso aqui vai demorar, hein, velho. Nossa, dei sorte. Ah, dei sorte. Porra. Ê, caceta. Não. Não. Ai, meu Deus. Eu não sei. Por favor. Aê, dei sorte de novo.
The inscription reads, "To my dearest friend."
Oh, thank you very much. This doll reminds
Oh,
her
pai,
of
que
her youth
difícil.
in Russia. It was very hard under the Soviet regime, but thanks to her strength of will, she rose to be the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg. Even though she now lives in Berlin, it is said that the Kremlin still fears her.
She must be a formidable woman indeed.
Yeah.
You are her
Braba.
maid?
I am her companion. I help her in her daily tasks, and I keep her company.
Ah, forgive me. You will have heard of Ratchet's murder last night.
Yes, of course. Everyone is talking about it.
Can you tell me how you occupied your time last night?
Just after we left Istanbul, I had tea with my roommate, Fräulein Locke. I went to dinner with the princess, and when I
Oh, the
returned to my
Locke.
compartment, Fräulein Locke was already asleep. A little later, Herr Michel, the conductor, came to get me because
alemã,
Madame
né?
la Princesse needed my help. Her back troubles her. I massaged her for about an hour.
Do you remember the time?
Uma hora
I'm
massageando.
sorry, I do not, my
Caralho. Aí já abraço. Eu faço 10 minutos de massagem
Have
e tô com
you
dor no braço.
lost a handkerchief embroidered with an H, madame?
Oh, no, monsieur.
I thought perhaps since your first name is Hildegard.
It is not mine, I tell you. I could not afford something so nice. I have no idea who it belongs to.
My apologies, I did not mean to alarm you.
Ok.
Thank you for answering my questions, madame.
Beleza, vamos pro próximo. Nem sei quem é esse quarto. Ah.
Monsieur, I am Hercule.
I know who you are, Monsieur Poirot. What do you want?
Answers
Eita, voz
to a simple question
forte.
or two.
All right, but quickly. My wife is quite ill. I would like to stay by her side.
I promise. First of all, I imagine you know about the murder.
Of course, the Countess is terribly distressed.
Your full name?
Rodolphe Adreny,
Your home is...
Budapest.
And how do you come to be aboard the Orient Express?
I am a Hungarian diplomat. My family has represented our homeland since the revolution from the Soviet Union in 1956.
Porra.
I was on my country's business in Istanbul. Business which I cannot discuss.
And your wife often accompanies you on your diplomatic missions?
Yes, and why not? Was there anything else you wanted to know?
Ok, né? Húngaro, diplomata, deve ter 34. Beleza.
That's the right answer. Can you tell me how you spent last night?
I was in our compartment with my wife. She went to bed early. I played a video game on my phone. Around 11 o'clock in the
Até
evening,
diplomata joga
my wife
videogame,
woke
por
up
que não?
and couldn't get back to sleep. She took a sleeping pill. As for me, I went to bed soon after that and slept straight through until morning.
Have you ever been to the United States?
I was posted to the Hungarian embassy in Washington for a year.
You knew perhaps the Armstrong family.
Armstrong? Armstrong. It is difficult to recall. One meets so many people.
Ok.
It was the kidnapping of a child, a very sad affair. The culprit was the man on this train who called himself Ratchet, the one who was murdered last night.
Indeed. It sounds like
É,
justice finally
justiça
caught up.
tarda, mas não
Thank
falha.
you for your time.
Esse ditado é
Não.
muito verdadeiro.
I'd like to speak to your wife, if you don't mind.
It's impossible. As I told you, my wife is very ill. Thank you, and good luck with the investigation.
É, meu filho, mas uma hora ela vai ser investigada.
Bien. The good count does not appear to want me
A
to
polícia
talk
vai
to
pedir e
his
tu não vai
wife.
ter que falar, ah, não é doente, é, meu irmão? Foda-se, pau no teu cu.
Madame Hubbard, may I ask you a question or two? It won't take long.
Anything I can do to help?
Have you misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found the handkerchief embroidered with the letter H, so I thought it might have been yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Miss Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name is Hildegard.
It is a possibility. Anyone could be lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
Ok. Vamos pro próximo. Não tem nada aqui. Esse aqui é o meu quarto, né? É. Ou esse aqui é o meu quarto? Não, esse aqui não é meu quarto, não. E aí, tiozão?
Can I do something for you?
Hello, Monsieur Hardman, I believe. You have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hartman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a private detective, just like you, from the U.S.
Detetive.
I do not think.
Pô, ele tem 55? Caralho, tá bem pra 55. Tá inteiro. Tá no pique.
I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchet. He hired me to protect him.
Something you failed to do.
I'm not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and yeah, something I failed to do. He seemed to think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can anyone on this train confirm your identity?
Yeah, that McQueen kid. Ratchet's secretary.
Ok.
Were you on duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you see anything in particular?
The conductor, Michelle. He was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchet's room. Then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't move until 5.
Ok.
Monsieur Hardman, have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? Kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchet's real name was Cassetti. I have reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What? He killed that little girl?
É, meu parceiro.
No, I didn't know.
Tu é detetive e não pesquisa, porra.
Taking the job.
Devia ter pesquisado.
Did you
Tu não é
have any
detetive,
idea who
irmão?
was behind the threatening letters?
Como
I
se
don't
fosse
know his
fácil.
name, but Ratchet told me he was a small man. Dark hair, with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help. Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
É, por isso que eu falei que parecia ser um lenço feminino, né?
Thank you for answering my questions, Monsieur Hardman.
Listen, Poirot. I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know. I'd like to make it right.
Já é, meu querido. Tamo junto, viu? Caraca, esse celular aí era relíquia, filho. Caralho, esse celular aí era top, filho. Esse celular era brabo demais, velho. E vamos para a segunda classe, onde os pobres estão. Pessoas que não deveriam olhar o meu bigode.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
É isso aí, se arruma aí, porra. Eu, hein.
So, my friend, have you finished your investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Okay. I stay here to watch this young lady.
É isso aí, fica aí de boa.
I hope your investigation is going well, Mr. Poirot.
Monsieur McQueen,
McQueen.
may I ask you a question?
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Poirot?
This handkerchief embroidered with an H. Is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
Thank you. I won't bother you
Ok.
anymore.
Podia confirmar o negócio do detetive com ele, né? O cara lá que disse detetive. E aí, onde está o resto das pessoas? Será que dá pra falar com a mulher agora?
I am not prepared to receive.
Very well, ma.
Meu Deus do céu, que porra de mulher é essa, velho? Tá fumando não quer que eu descubra, porra. Tá, esse aqui é o detetive. Quem é esse aqui? Acho que é o meu, né? Mano, o personagem tá parando de andar às vezes, velho. Eu, hein? Doideira. Loucura, loucura. 204 é a véia. 205 é os caras, né? Convença.
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
You are very protective of your wife, Count Andrény.
Does that surprise you? Her vertigo can be very dangerous.
I believe there are many kinds of vertigo.
If you don't mind, I'd rather talk to a doctor, not a detective. If you'd excuse me.
Oh, Deus. Será que dá pra tentar de novo? Tá.
Monsieur, if I...
My help?
You are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andrény.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No. I fear marriage is not for me. But her condition is
Nenhuma mulher é digna de tocar no
She is
bigode.
suffering about a vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well, I will find him. Thank you very much.
É isso, vamos invadir o quarto e falar com a mulher sem o marido aprovar. A cada mulher.
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize for exploiting that fact. But the situation is urgent.
Esse cara tá usando uma roupa, né? Não é tatuagem todo o corpo dela, tudo não, é uma roupa, né?
I
Bonita a roupa.
realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are
Back
you
Bay.
in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel, appointments.
Ah, what is the saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying.
Verdade.
Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
Americana diplomata 21.
I must admit I'm not right this time. This is
Tá,
wrong.
então sem
But
profissão.
I never found.
Ok.
That's the right answer.
Lenço.
A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
Ou será que é Helena com H?
Can you
E ela está
tell me what
mentindo?
you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't, because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill, and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
Confronto. O trem parou, não parou?
Come now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
O trem parou.
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow, so there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Madame, a man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
Deixou a mulher puta, poirô. Que horror.
That was unkind, I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room.
É muita perspicácia num bigode só, né, velho? É foda, mano. Não tem como. O cara é outro nível, velho. Pra ter um bigode desse, o cara tem que ser outro nível, velho. Não tem jeito, velho.
These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
Pelo amor de Deus, pô, eu não quebra essa merda, velho.
There seems to be something missing here.
Ai, meu Deus.
It's closed.
Que isso, gente?
It's closed. It's closed.
Ai, meu Deus. Os caras botam uns puzzles e não foda-se, sem nenhuma dica, nada, velho. Se vira, irmão, pra decidir entender essa merda. É só que falta isso, velho. Deixa eu ver a primeira dica desse caralho. Pô, é sério? Os caras, a primeira dica deram a resposta, cara. Ah, cara, sério, mano. Pior que eu nem gravei.
It's closed. It's closed.
It's closed. Ah!
There seems to be something missing here.
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
It's closed.
Ah, eu errei. Ai, Deus.
It's closed.
Pronto. Aqui nem era um puzzle, né? Eu teria que fazer probabilidade ali, né? Fazer tipo um aqui, depois mudar os outros dois, depois mudar o do meio e depois ir testando um por um, velho. Daí é muito trabalho e não quero. Tô de boa. Ai, meu Deus, mais puzzle. Oh, consegui. O pai é muito bom, porra. O pai é muito bom. Não sei nem o que eu fiz nessa porra, foda-se.
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name. An engraving written in, I believe,
começa com H, não?
Russian Cyrillic.
Já tem mais? Ok.
For my beautiful young lady,
Helena com H, velho. Falei, mano. Cara de pau, irmão.
With an H. It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Poirot, have you no shame?
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel.
O Poirot é muito sarcástico,
Countess,
cara.
I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you?
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong. Your older sister. The mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
Meu amigo, mas você mentiu sobre o seu nome, né?
That last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
Ok, vamos ver. Tradução do entalhe. Mano, não é Helena não, velho. Use conhecimento do idioma russo do Poirot para traduzir o entalhe. Eu sei tudo. Ah, tá, ok. Nossa, o H é N. Que loucura. Tá, é um A, né? É um A. É um T. É um T. Depois outro A. E aí vem esse símbolo que eu não faço ideia do que seja. Mano, é isso aqui. É o que mais parece. É um L. Natália? É isso aí. Uai, gente. Natália.
Natalia. Would it be
Natália.
Natalia
Acertei.
Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H.
E é o tipo de lenço que ela teria. Mulher toda extravagante, toda sei lá o que, toda chique. Ela certeza teria um lenço desse. Com toda a certeza, meu parceiro. Onde que ela tá, mano? Tô com preguiça de procurar, velho. Tem o nome onde ela tá, velho? 107. Pronto. Ah, era a mulher que não tava pronta, né? Pra me atender, né? Ah, entendi. Agora tudo faz sentido. Agora as peças se encaixaram. Antes eu estava cego e agora posso ver. 107. Vai, me atende agora, porra. FBI!
I am not prepared to receive
FBI!
anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry,
Open the
madam,
door!
but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Abriu rapidinho, né? É, abriu
Come in,
rapidinho.
please.
Abriu rapidinho a porta, não é mesmo?
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Só meteu o FBI.
Ask.
FBI!
I'll answer if
Open
it
the door!
pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced. Yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
Ele pensa enquanto olha fixamente pra mulher sem falar uma palavra. A mulher tá tipo, meu Deus, o que esse cara tá pensando, velho? Não sei se ela é política. Porra, 85?
I do not think that's the right. Think, Poirot. That is not a...
Caralho. 85
That's
anos.
the right answer.
Tá inteira, né? Porra. Parece ter uns 60? 70, vai. Vamos não ser tão bonzinho.
I will
70.
first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffer from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I
Yeah.
called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see.
Ok,
The
lenço
first
bordado.
initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchet's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come
Yeah.
to be lying by a murdered man's body? My
Yes.
reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel
Porra, mas
Armstrong?
caralho, tem a irmã da mãe, tem a madrasta, madrinha.
Was my goddaughter. I was
Porra.
on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius. one of the greatest
Todo mundo no mesmo trem. Isso não é coincidência, irmão.
I was not only an admirer of her
No mesmo
art,
trem do cara que sequestrou a
I was a
menina da
personal
família.
friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Elena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence, your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence, one of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess.
É óbvio, isso quer dizer que você não deu uma facada no cara.
Which means you have
ué.
one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
Valeu, minha tia. Vou descobrir quem você é.
Привет.
Beleza. Já temos bastantes informações novas, né? De quem são as pessoas no trem. Todo mundo é linkado com a Daisy, então, meu irmão, o bagulho é louco. É isso? Beleza, acertei.
My little gray cells did.
Ok, então temos aí alguns progressos. Princesa Dragomirov é a madrinha da Daisy. Senhora Andreni é a irmã da mãe da Daisy, a tia da Daisy. E é isso. Então temos bastante progresso nessa parte. E vamos finalizar o vídeo por aqui, para o vídeo não ficar muito longo, tá? Então é isso. Espero que tenham gostado dessa parte. Tivemos bastante revelações bombásticas, né? De quem nunca viu essa história, né? Está ficando interessante. Para quem já conhece a história, se não tiver nenhuma alteração, né? Porque, como eu já falei algumas vezes, os desenvolvedores falaram que ia ter mudanças, né? Até para quem é muito fã da obra, né? Do Assassinato do Processador Oriente, teriam surpresas. Por enquanto, né? Baseado no livro, no filme, né? Que eu vi dessa obra, não teve mudança nenhuma até agora. Caso, se você já viu o livro ou o final, já sabe quem é ou quem são os assassinos, já sabe quem é, então não é tão impactante essas notícias, né? Mas para quem nunca viu essa obra, é impactante pra caramba, né? Então é isso. Então bastante coisa nessa parte. Então na próxima parte vamos avançar na investigação. Devemos terminar de investigar algumas coisas, né? Interrogar algumas pessoas, descobrir alguns álibis ainda que faltam. E é isso, já descobrimos quem é o lenço. Então nos vemos no próximo vídeo, pessoal. Não esqueça de deixar aquele like maroto. Se você não deixou aquele like, dá o like aí, irmão. Ajuda nós. Se inscreve no canal se você não for inscrito. Ativa o sininho das notificações para você não perder as próximas partes do Assassinato no Expresso Oriente e de outros jogos que eu estou trazendo para o canal. Deixa um comentário aí se você está gostando dessa gameplay, do jogo, de todo como o jogo está sendo abordando a história toda do livro, né, da Agatha Christie. E também, se você não viu as partes anteriores e os outros vídeos dos outros jogos que eu estou trazendo, todos os links estão na descrição do Atlas Fallen, todos os testes de jogos que eu já fiz, né, do Ghost Runner, Forspoken, Enfim, outros jogos também que eu estou trazendo aqui, que não deu branco na cabeça. Todos os jogos que eu já joguei e trouxe pro canal estão na descrição, os links, tá? E é isso. Nos vemos no próximo vídeo, gente. Valeu!